Here on your Thursday morning. Phenomenal weather for any event, honestly, this weekend, and I'm not sure how it's going to be looking next weekend, Alex, for anybody who might be doing something.
I think this warming trend is going to continue. So once we get into next week, temperatures back into the 90s, and then that's just going to slowly continue as we get into next weekend. So enjoy the 80s while we have them. They will be back, but I do think we get back into the 90s before they are here to stay and before this cooling trend continues through the season of fall. Looking live over downtown this morning, we've got 61 in Macon and in Warner Robins, 64 in Dublin, 61 in Perry, and the Milledgeville sensor is having a few issues this morning. 60 in Gordon, 64 in Cochran, 58 is the cool spot in Eastman, and that is about it for central Georgia. And across the southeast, fairly quiet as well. A lot of 60s on the board from Houston, Texas, up to Chattanooga, Tennessee, Norfolk, Virginia, still hanging on to the 70s down in the Sunshine State, there in Pensacola, Jacksonville, and in Orlando this morning. Now, as we head through the day today, temperatures going to waste no time warming up into the 80s by the noon hour, and then topping off somewhere in the mid 80s. I've got 85 as a high temperature today with some clouds developing later in the afternoon. Then for tomorrow, it wouldn't surprise me to see a few 50s sprinkled in, but I do think we stay a few degrees warmer than that here in Macon, above the 60-degree mark. Then once we get into the afternoon, right back into the 80s, but tomorrow night is going to feel fantastic for Football Friday night. There we are at 8 p.m. It seems like we had rain for the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season, and certainly not tomorrow here in central Georgia. Just a small 10% chance during the afternoon, but not during the evening. Then once we get into Saturday, another fantastic day. Sunday will be very similar with these high temperatures trending above average. Our average high for this time of year is about 88. So we'll be at 85 today, 86 for tomorrow and Saturday, back to 90 by the time we get to Monday. So Sunday really is when we cross that threshold from below average to above average. The good news is, though, as our temperatures warm up, the humidity not responding all that much. We will be back in the humid range, but we're not going to be in the very muggy range, which is what matters, because for the past several months, we've been in the very muggy range, and we're not going to get back there. Let's talk about the tropics this morning. We do have Tropical Storm Fiona, a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm. Take a look at the way it's situated. All the activity is lopsided on the eastern side as it moves towards the west now at about 13 miles an hour. And the plan is from the National Hurricane Center to have this scrape by the northeastern Caribbean and miss Hispaniola towards the north. That's important because that allows for a stronger storm, missing the mountainous terrain there. Winds of about 65 miles an hour early Tuesday morning as it enters the Turks and Caicos. All in all, I'm not too concerned about it for us here in central Georgia. We'll have to watch the eastern seaboard, though, to see if they could feel any effects from this tropical storm. 85 going to be the high temperature today. Cool morning, but similar to yesterday, warming very quickly through the afternoon hours. Sunrise is at 7:18 this morning, and as I was mentioning a few minutes ago, yeah, check out that Football Friday night forecast. 80s down into the 70s. Sunset tomorrow is at 7:39. A fantastic night here in central Georgia. Here's an early look at your weekend forecast. 86 for Saturday, 88 for Sunday. But again, the humidity is not going to be all that bad, so certainly get outside and enjoy it. Before we are back in the 90s next week, 90 for Monday, 92 for Tuesday and for Wednesday. And looking at the longer range stuff, it looks like this dry weather continues and we steadily warm next week and into the following weekend.